Back live tonight. It's Live PD on A&E. The show is on at 6 o'clock tonight and tomorrow. And Dan Abrams is the host. He joins us now. Hey, Dan.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Good.
We're doing good. Hey, thanks for calling in.
Sure. My pleasure.
So congratulations on becoming the most DVR'd show of 2017 with Live PD.
Right. When you think about that, the most DVR'd show of 2017, and the name of the show is Live PD.
Yeah, that's the strange thing. It's like people are drawn to the show because of its live nature, but they simply just don't have the time to tune in for all that period. They want to just get to the good stuff. Is that how you guys feel on that end of things?
No, I think people. I mean, look, my view is that people are that committed to the show that if they can't watch it that night, they want to, make sure they catch up on what happened.
That's what I do. I watch it on Saturday and Sunday mornings. It's kind of my ritual. I have coffee and then check emails and Facebook, and then I put it on the show.
Live PD last night?
But what's nice about it? Sometimes, and I know I could feel it from you as far as trying to move the show along, and I don't know if that's producers in your ear, but you'll kind of be like, all right, well, let's take a break here and let's go somewhere else, because sometimes these searches that they do they just get a little long, and so when they're looking for drugs and other things.
And part of what makes this show great is that it's not always on steroids.
Yeah.
It's not always high octane. Sometimes it's just cars getting pulled over the way that's what cops do. And they don't know what's going to happen next when they pull that vehicle over. And the audience doesn't know what's going to happen next. And I don't know what's going to happen next. And sometimes nothing happens. And that's what police officers deal with every day.
We got Dan Abrams joining us. All right, so what's going to happen this year on the show? Are we going to be going to some new areas? Will we be in California at all?
We are not currently in California. We are in Washington State. We're in Arizona on and off. We're in Utah on and off. We're going to be in new departments in Nevada, in a county outside of Las Vegas called Nye. And we're going to be in a county outside of New Orleans, in the New Orleans area, actually, Slidell County, cool. Both of which are new departments this weekend. So that's pretty exciting. But, we are always trying to get, a diverse group of departments from different parts of the country. And, it's a balance. It's just trying to figure out places where they're open to having a camera following them around, and places that we're interested in being. So it's you got to figure out the right fit.
In the entirety of the time of Live PD's been on, because I've not been able to catch it all, has there ever been a police officer that has gotten in trouble based on his actions because it was all caught live,
all documented?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look. The answer is I'm sure that's the case, because I know that all of the higher ups at the departments are watching. They're watching the live feeds of their departments, and I'm certain that there have been instances where officers have been scolded based on their actions. But again, we're not an arm of law enforcement, so they don't tell us necessarily the same way we don't tell them what our decision-making process is and what we decide to cover and don't cover. So I don't know exactly, what has been the result, but I'm sure that there have been instances where officers have gotten in some amount of trouble. Look, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I think that's a good thing that the departments are improving as a result of, I don't think anyone's gotten fired or, but my point is just that I think it's a good thing if these departments can watch what they're doing, watch their officers, and then say, hey, wait a sec, actually the better way to do this would have been this, or we didn't like the fact that you did blank. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great way to Monday morning quarterback what's going on in your own department from a police department standpoint.
And improve.
Yeah. And improve. Yeah, and figure out what's going on. Do you ever, is there a lot of resistance? You guys met with a lot of resistance on behalf of departments that you go to contact and you pitch the idea and they're like, no.
Oh, we don't want the attention. Yeah. We don't need that.
Is there a fair amount of that goes on?
Yeah, some, but the ones that tend to have that tend to be the more political ones where, the mayor and the city council and it's not the rank and file police officers. Mm-hmm. They want us there. It's the ones that the more politics you get into, the more potential pushback that we get.
Yeah, we have a friend that's a police officer, and he loves the fact that they're wearing body cams now because it covers him. It covers him, and he knows that he's not doing any wrongdoing when he's on duty. But if it comes down to a situation of his story versus mine versus a body cam, he's always going to win that argument because he's wearing that body cam.
Well, then that's the thing. People seem to think, that body cams are great things just for citizens. They're good for police officers too.
Yeah, they're good all the way around.
The officers can say, "Look, yeah, exactly what you just said."
Dan Abrams, will we go back to maybe Todd Poole or that other crazy highway patrolman from Arizona on the show? I forget his name. He always had
James Casey.
Yeah, Casey with all the guys wearing the underwear and the lube, and I mean,
yeah. You never know. Like people say to us, I can't believe you guys left this department or that department. And, people forget, like, we set up an arrangement where we say we're going to be following you for 12 weeks. And, then we'll figure out where we go from there. And that's kind of what happened in Arizona. We might go back. It's a good department. I just don't know. I do know that we've got, as I say, these 2 new departments this weekend, which is exciting departments. It's funny because I just did a couple of radio interviews with a New Orleans station and also a Vegas one, where the 2 locations are. And of course, they're very familiar with these counties. And I'm like, tell me about it, because I don't know anything about it. We haven't been there yet, so we start there tonight.
Well, it should be really fun. 6:00 tonight and tomorrow night on A&E. We appreciate. What were you doing before you jumped into this show? I mean, I know I've seen you on TV before as kind of because you're an attorney too, right? I mean, used to.
Yeah, I'm still the chief legal analyst for ABC News.
You've been doing that for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I was at NBC for a long time before that as the chief legal correspondent there. I hosted shows on MSNBC for a long time. So I'm a journeyman.
He's a Renaissance man.
I've been around the block.
How much of the week does this show take up of your time?
Well, it's Friday and Saturday night, so I'm usually there by 4:30 in the afternoon. Start doing some prep. We do a tease for the show 8 p.m. Eastern time for the tease for the 9 p.m. show, and so things really sort of ramp up about an hour before the show, maybe an hour and a half, because then all the feeds are coming in.
Yeah.
So I like to be in the control room, see what's happening.
But your guys are working all week, right? I mean, you got crews out all week. You got how many?
Yeah, exactly.
How many people does it take to put the show on?
Well, it depends. It's producers versus freelancers. Staff's about 50, but we've got 30 cameras every show that are out there. So because we have 6 departments live every show, it's quite an operation.
Well, we thank you for bringing it to us because it's so compelling and so fresh. And it's something. It's so much of what we get with TV nowadays is ideas that have been rehashed and
redone,
quote unquote, borrowed from other. And what you guys are doing is so fresh that it's you deserve to be the #1 DVR'd show of 2017 because people are paying attention to what you guys are doing. So a good job.
We threw it out there. We asked everybody if there was one thing you could ask or a question, and the #1 thing was, is there any way we could do a follow-up? Because on Friday nights, there'll always be something amazing that happens right as you have to sign off, and then everybody's like kind of held out there like, what happened? So that was a bunch of people.
Yeah, so we try, when we have something like that, we try to update it on Saturday. The trickier thing is what happens on Saturday night when something happens. We're talking about how to better resolve the unresolved when we check out on Saturday nights.
Very cool. Well, hey, great talking to you. Glad the show's back on. Good luck with it.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right.
See you guys.
See you later. There goes Dan Abrams, live PD again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at 6. And really, you think about this binge-watching nation DVR, #1 DVR show, that just because something happened last Saturday and it's a whole week later and it's Friday, it wouldn't hurt to start the show with, at some point, hey, remember last Friday? When
my father-in-law loads up on these. And this is what he goes to for his guilty pleasure watching. I mean, he's like, once he's gotten his fill of Fox News, which is I mean, you could feed that guy about 14 hours a day of Fox News.
It's live PD,
and it's not enough. But after that, it's like live PD. Let's see what happened on live PD.
And you think cops pull their guns and shoot and tase people all the time and mace them, but when you watch this show after several months, you realize that you only get a couple tasings, and that's my favorite part of the show. And you realize it doesn't happen as much as you think. But anyways, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. DVR it because it is the number one most watched DVR show. Tonight at 6, tomorrow at 6. It's Dan Abrams and Live PD.